you ever looked up at the sky, stared at clouds drifting slowly, or noticed shapes in shadows and suddenly saw faces, animals, or symbols that felt almost meaningful, even though you knew they were just random formations? That experience, the feeling that something hidden or significant is there, is not just your imagination playing tricks on you. It's actually your brain performing the task it was designed for over millions of years, searching for patterns in the world, connecting dots, and creating meaning out of chaos, even when no real pattern exists at all. From the very moment we are born, our brains are wired to look for connections, to link one thing to another, and to try to understand our surroundings in a way that makes sense. This skill, which may feel like it's sometimes overactive in modern life, is what helped our ancestors survive. Imagine a time when early humans walked through tall grass, uncertain whether the rustling was just the wind or the approach of a predator. Guessing that danger was present, even if it wasn't, often saved lives. Over generations, our brains evolved to prioritize seeing possible patterns rather than waiting for perfect proof. Which means that today, even in safe environments, we are naturally inclined to notice connections, even when none exist. This is why so often we see meaning where there really is none. Our minds are wired to fill in gaps automatically. If you notice a cluster of stars in the night sky, your brain immediately connects the dots and forms a recognizable shape. If you hear random noise in a quiet room, suddenly it sounds like someone is calling your name. That inner drive to make sense of randomness is deeply rooted because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. And our brains prefer to create a story, even a false one, just to make the world feel manageable. Emotions play a huge role in this phenomenon as well. When we are tired, stressed, anxious, or overwhelmed, our brains work harder to find signals in the noise around us, often seeing connections that aren't real. Moments of uncertainty, fear, or anticipation make our pattern detection system hyperactive. In these situations, people may start noticing signs everywhere, believing that events are connected in ways that are meaningful or even predictive. And the brain rewards us with a sense of comfort for finding these links, even if they're imaginary. Memory also contributes to our tendency to see patterns. Contrary to what we might believe, our minds are not perfect recorders of reality. Memories are reconstructed each time we recall them, blending together similar events and filling in missing details. Over time, this reconstruction can create a coherent story that feels perfectly true, even if parts of it are entirely fabricated. As a result, when we look back at events, it's easy to convince ourselves that connections existed when, in reality, they were our brains filling in the gaps and creating patterns out of randomness. Social influence amplifies this effect. When someone around us points out a supposed pattern, our minds immediately start noticing it too. A friend might say, "Doesn't this number keep appearing everywhere?" And suddenly, you notice that number on receipts, clocks, license plates, and more. That number was always there, but now your attention is tuned to it. This phenomenon, known as selective attention, makes ordinary things seem extraordinary and ordinary coincidences feel like hidden messages. Another powerful factor is confirmation bias. Once we believe we see a pattern, our brains filter the world to find evidence that supports it, while ignoring anything that contradicts it. If you think that certain days are unlucky or that some people are meant to meet, you remember the events that fit your belief and disregard the ones that do not. The pattern feels undeniable because your brain selectively focuses on moments that confirm your story while erasing the rest. Modern technology and information overload have made this pattern seeking even stronger. Scrolling endlessly through social media, watching news stories, and consuming data all day exposes our brains to countless coincidences and dramatic events, which our minds naturally link together. We start to see invisible threads connecting things that are completely unrelated. It feels like discovering hidden meaning or secret signals, but more often than not, it is just your mind working overtime, trying to make sense of a world that is full of randomness. It's important to understand that this doesn't mean your brain is broken or malfunctioning. In fact, it's incredibly powerful. Your mind is trying to protect you, predict what might happen next, and give your world order and structure. The challenge is not that the brain sees patterns, but that sometimes it sees too many patterns, creating stories that feel real but are entirely constructed. The key to managing this tendency is awareness and reflection. When you pause and ask yourself, is this really connected, or does it only feel connected? you create a space between instinct and reality. This brief moment allows your rational mind to step in and assess whether a perceived pattern is meaningful or just random noise. Learning to recognize when your brain is overactive in its pattern seeking can help you make better decisions and reduce unnecessary anxiety or overinterpretation. Next time you notice yourself discovering a pattern in clouds, numbers, coincidences, or events around you, don't feel embarrassed. This is your brain doing exactly what it is supposed to do, using ancient survival instincts in a modern, chaotic world. What matters is understanding, but just because a pattern feels real, it doesn't always mean it truly exists. Awareness and mindfulness allow you to appreciate your brain's incredible power while keeping it in check. So embrace your pattern-seeking mind, but learn to question it gently and thoughtfully. Notice the shapes, the coincidences, the signals, but pause and reflect before accepting them as real. By doing this, you harness the power of your brain without being misled by its natural inclination to overconnect. If this video helped you understand why your mind constantly finds patterns that don't exist, and why you sometimes see meaning where none is there, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the workings of the human mind, and leave a comment sharing the most surprising pattern you've ever noticed. Your engagement helps this channel continue exploring the hidden science behind how we perceive, think, and experience the world around us.